Welcome back to Behind the Veil, a show that provides insight into the world of weddings. I'm your host, Keith Willard. Welcome back. So our topic today is we're going to be talking about hangovers because God knows we have all been there, right? The next day we go, swear to God, never again. Please, please, please help me pass this because I will never drink again. Well, yeah, we know that's not really going to be true. And then, of course, technology has come such a long way in helping those with hangovers. I mean, we've all heard of Pedialyte and some of these other concoctions, but our guests today have actually come up with their own. And it is a woman-owned business that focuses on women products. Like this is a product specifically geared towards women. So I'm excited to bring them on. But first, let me introduce my co-host, Marcy Gutenberg, with an affair to remember by Marcy, as I stumble all over my words. Didn't you hear that? I swear I'm not suffering from a hangover at the moment. I'm just slightly intoxicated. So we're okay.
I needed this product when I was younger.
Well, what I love about this...
those days.
Well, what I love about this is that it takes into consideration like biotin, which I don't even know what the hell that is, but I'm assuming that it's good for your skin because I see it on all the makeup commercials or what have you, and hair. I find this couple really fascinating. I'm going to introduce them shortly, but I find them really fascinating because they're actors that then figured out how to create a product for hangovers. And so I'm really interested to figure out what that connection is between the two, and how they
have a good backstory too.
They've got to have a really good backstory. All right, well, let's bring them on. Kelsey Ann and Nathan. So, by the way, is it Kelsey Ann Wacker? I mean, are you two married?
Well,
give us 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're getting married in September 24th of this year. So, just 3 weeks.
Wow.
And, it's funny that you asked the thing about the name.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Because this is Nate Simpson. And
Nate Simpson, thank you.
I was recently getting my eyebrows done. And the woman doing my eyebrows was like, oh, let me see your engagement photos. Because she had just gotten engaged as well. And she was like, oh, we'll exchange Instagrams. And so, she's following, what's your name? Kelsey Ann Wacker. She goes, bet you're changing that.
Oh my God.
Like, well, I actually was,
I was thinking about keeping it.
What do you say? But it's funny because my mom didn't change her name.
Yeah.
To Wacker.
No.
She kept hers. And
my mom didn't change her name either.
So we come from families where the woman didn't take the man's name, but I don't know if it's just the rebellion of a child or what it is, but I'm like, I do want to change my name. Is that funny?
Like, no,
they were like,
yeah,
is it? What do you think about that? Like, do you?
Oh, I would totally
do you have
change
an opinion?
My name. If my last name was Wacker, I would totally change the name. But,
oh my God, that's so good.
I'm a gay kid, so a gay child of Wacker. I mean,
no, definitely not. It could be problematic for sure.
Yeah.
Hyphenated would be a little long, but you can do it.
Yeah, Wacker Simpson, Wacker Willard,
or if it was Johnson Wacker. No.
Oh no, we have a.
Her dad's name is John Wacker.
John Wacker, Jack Wacker is what he grew up being. And his middle name's Peter, so like Peter Wacker. It's
Jack Peter Wacker.
You are kidding me.
No,
I'm not.
This is not true.
I also have a Richard Wacker in the family.
No.
He does go by Dick.
Oh no,
he does
Dick
go
Wacker?
by Dick Wacker.
No.
Yes, he does.
Oh my God. It is no wonder y'all drink.
I know.
Listen. Many reasons to drink.
I love this. Oh my God. So, okay. So congratulations, by the way. So on getting married in 3 weeks. Oh my God. That's crazy. But you two are actors, right? By trade. You two are actors by trade.
True. That's correct.
So where did this even come up from? Because I read through one of your previous articles that you're actually the owner of 3 different businesses. And then, so this is one of those. And so obviously no grass grows under y'all's feet.
Right. No. We are moving. We are moving.
Grassroots, baby.
That's right.
Right. And so, but I mean, how did this even come about? Give us the backstory.
I remember literally the day and like the moment that you first brought this idea up to me. It was this like cold, cloudy, gray October day in Prospect Park.
You guys don't know about that, do you? In Florida?
No, just humid. Humid and alligator season.
That's right. We'll get into Florida, but so So Kelsey Ann had gone out with her friends the night before, a super modest, like totally like not crazy night.
A normal night, just a normal
Really?
night.
It was
No one was dancing on tables, There were no shots had. It was nothing out of the ordinary.
Please, that's
But-
Thanksgiving for me. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say.
I had just turned 30, the big 30.
Yeah,
And I had, I kid you not, 2.5 glasses of wine.
Yeah.
Tops.
Oh,
And
wow.
good stuff too.
Really?
And I woke up with a horrible hangover.
Yep.
Really?
And
Red
I had
wine?
been noticing this trend.
Not
but
red wine, Pinot Gris. I remember the
Wow.
type. You
Oh.
told me it was.
Really?
You said I had 2.5 glasses of Pinot Gris,
But
which
it
is just a
does-
funny sentence.
It does remind me, Marcy, because red wine actually can make hangovers worse. It's the
Mhm.
tannins.
Yeah.
And the tannins can actually trigger
Yeah.
headaches and migraines.
true.
Yeah, you guys know
Right.
about this.
It's very common.
Oh God, of course.
No,
please,
white
we're
wine.
drinkers here.
Exactly. Well, yeah. So you need party girl. But no, it was
Exactly.
just this idea of like I was engaged to, and it was like, okay, how am I? Because I'm not going to quit drinking. Okay.
Right. Right.
Because it's not a need to quit basis problem. It's just
Yeah.
a like, how do I go forward in my life where I have many celebrations coming up? You always have the holidays. I go see family. My family loves to have a good time. They love
Mhm.
to drink. They don't get hangovers. It's insane. My mother is like a camel. Like she could just take.
You can't say your
take-
mother a camel. This
She just
Wow.
takes the
Let's
water
call your
in
mom
and
a
she-
camel.
No,
That's
No,
nice.
She comes from
Okay.
Hardy stock. She
How
would
about-
love that.
Yeah, how about a firecracker?
Well,
Okay.
she's a
That's right. Yeah,
firecracker
there you
too.
go.
That's
But
funny.
no, she just holds her liquor really well, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So basically, Kelsey Ann is jealous.
So I'm jealous. Yeah, and
um,
I have a bachelorette party coming up. I have,
Right.
a wedding coming up, and
Mm-hmm.
not to mention my other friends' bachelorettes and weddings. We're
Right.
all around this age. We're all getting married. Not to mention maybe just going to a film festival and wanting
Well,
to network and having,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
it's like,
that's right.
how do I help myself through these celebrations where I actually do want to have a good time?
Right.
I don't want to necessarily be a teetotaler. I want to enjoy myself. So how can I then not have a hangover in the morning and feel like I'm being punished?
Right.
And I remember I remember you turned to me and you were like, I wish there was some way that I could I could go out and have a night and then come home and then feel better and look better at the same time.
Well, because
Right.
with a hangover, it's like your
No,
skin's
your face
dry.
looks bad. No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
Right.
the
Exactly, yeah.
sunken eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Puffiness. This is not
Like
a
I
good
said,
look,
that's a
so-
Tuesday for me. Yeah, I
And
get
you
it.
need to have
Hey.
a dark
There you go.
room,
Yes.
dark cold
We're-
room. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
And so you
so
went,
she goes, let's mash them together.
oh no. I mean, but okay. So for me, as an outsider looking into this
Mhm.
business, I would think, okay, aren't there all sorts of like rules and regulations and all of these like hoops to jump through in order to
Yes.
bring a drink to market? And did you
Yes.
have that experience before, or was this a learning process that you went, hey, we have this
No.
idea, now let's run forward?
Yeah.
It was a
we-
learning process.
We did not study this in school. I mean, we literally have bachelors of fine arts in acting. I
Yeah.
mean, so we don't have a very good liberal arts education. But no, we Googled everything. I mean, you really can learn
No.
so much.
Anything
Yeah,
on the internet. It's
anything
true.
on the internet that you need to learn. And, we just went from
That's-
there. It's all just what we
That's
could find online.
mind blowing to me.
The hardest
guys.
part really is just going like, okay, there's this idea, and then just saying, okay, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, but how
that's
did
The
you
committing to
biggest
it.
obstacle.
How
to
did
it.
you do proof of concept? I mean, did you do it on
Yeah.
yourselves or our friends?
We found
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, let's
we
drink
found-
tonight, and tomorrow we're gonna
Yeah,
try this.
see how we're feeling.
exactly.
We've tested it on our
Exactly.
friends. Yes, we have.
It's
Yes.
honestly, it's so
Sure.
awesome. I'm so excited for
Yeah,
it
but
to-
I mean,
for
but
it to, like, hit
but
shows.
how did you even come up with the idea? I mean, first of all, I don't even understand where you find biotin, right? And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, how did that even become part of your drink? I mean, do you have like a little lab in your kitchen, and you're like, oh, I'll pour a little bit of this, a little bit of that?
Well, Kelsey
okay.
Ann's like she's a skincare and like beauty, like she's on top of all that stuff, and like
Right.
she's really done her research. Like,
Yeah, so it's just about it. What it was going, okay, so now I know that for for this business, I want to make this hangover cure. What are the things that I feel help me when
Right.
what are my
Mhm.
rituals? And then asking friends, like, what do you do if you wake up with a hangover? Because everyone has their own little thing, and that works for them. So I
Right.
kind of compiled, I listened, I, kept my ears peeled and compiled this list of things that are helpful, along with a lot of sort of academic research about what's proven, what's just sort of more of like a folk tale, a wives' tale,
Mhm.
Right.
something that we do culturally that has no scientific backing. So I checked a bunch of sources like that. And then it was also about, contraindications. So, you can't put in, I'm just making this up,
Yeah,
like,
make it up. Yeah.
magnesium and artichoke root because of, something that I wouldn't know, but some sort of molecular thing.
Yeah.
that
Well,
was
magnesium
that-
actually explodes in water. So yeah, that would.
Oh,
that would
okay.
Yeah,
help.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. That's it. See, I don't even need to know. Isn't that? I don't need to know. But it was also like,
funny.
okay, so, but what is missing from this, from the
Yeah.
hangover space?
Mhm.
If you
Right.
think about all these different products, and there's a number of them. I was feeling that, first of all, they weren't multitasking enough.
Right.
And we actually don't have as many. They will throw a lot of ingredients in there, and the ingredients list will be a mile long, and maybe that's impressive to people. I guess that's what they're
No.
thinking when they're making a
No.
product like that. But
No.
we wanted to sort of scale
It's
it back,
not.
only
Just
put
isn't.
the things that are scientifically going to work
Right.
in there,
Mhm.
leave out all of the other junk,
Yeah.
and then put in the beauty focused ingredients that I was interested in to sort of make this product completely unique. There's no other product on the market like this that's a recovery beverage that also has collagen and biotin and B vitamins and C and all sorts of things that are really good for you aesthetically as well.
And if I can brag, none of them are focused on tasting good either.
No, God,
No.
no.
Well, Pedialyte is kind of like as a wedding
That's your
planner.
go-to.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
tell
Yeah,
people I'm
yeah.
like powder Pedialyte, put a little powder Pedialyte in a bottle of water in people's bags. They're gonna love you forever, but it tastes
Honestly,
like crap.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Pedialyte
exactly.
is my
And then
go-to
IV
as well.
IV too. The IV
Liquid IV.
Liquid IV. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
That
I
one's
know.
great.
It's kind of amazing.
And
It's like-
salty. I find liquid IV to taste
It's
extremely
very salty and
it's just
sweet.
all this
Yeah.
stuff
At the same
going
time.
on. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
do need sodium, actually.
Yeah.
But not.
There's no
not to
reason
that
why it
amount.
can't taste good.
Taste good. Yeah. So we worked with some flavor scientists. This is an actual job, a flavor
Right.
scientist.
God bless them.
I
Yeah.
know, God bless.
Yeah.
With a company out in LA, and they have a lab, and it's all these chemists, and we worked exclusively with women as well. And that was,
It's true.
something that we set out to do. But this particular lab had a lot of female scientists, so it wasn't hard actually.
Right.
And they helped us formulate, it's about pH balance. There is a lot of things that you have to
Yeah.
consider, as you were saying, like where do you start? But,
Right.
They are the chemists, so they'll help you with that. And then it was just about getting it to taste good, because
Yeah.
again, there's nothing worse than, and I think Pedialyte and Liquid IV are probably the best tasting. And we just talked about how you do kind of have to choke it down out of
Right.
all the things on the market besides Party Girl.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so, there's nothing worse than feeling ill
Yeah.
and then having to just
Swallow
get
something
something
nasty.
down.
It's like
that
holding
does
your
not
nose and the
taste-
whole bit. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly.
it feels so good to drink Party Girl. In part, it works, but it's
Right.
also like incredibly
Yeah, it's
delicious.
nice.
Like it's
It's
just
like-
Well,
refreshing.
okay. So
and we
white
did that on
grape,
purpose.
white grape and orange peel. No offense.
Okay,
I hear
so-
that and I'm like, oh, wait a
Do
Listen,
you?
it's
What does it
supposed to
make you
be-
think?
I'm
curious.
I'm not really. I don't know if I like the taste of an orange peel. Have you ever had an orange peel?
The term
yes.
Aperol spritz
Yes.
is trademarked.
Oh,
you know what I mean.
is that really?
A little bit,
Yes.
yeah. It's inspired by an Aperol
Oh.
spritz.
Mhm.
Oh, I get it. Okay, now that makes a little bit more sense, and I can
So
understand
think
that.
Amalfi Coast.
Yeah.
Think,
Yeah,
it's something that's juicy and refreshing.
Yeah.
But it does have that, like, I hesitate
It's
to use the word
sophisticated.
bitterness because it's not
Yeah.
it's not that. It's just it has a sophistication to it, and it's very well rounded.
Yeah.
That's what
Well,
I think the orange peel does.
well, and
When
I
do
find
you
it.
drink this?
yeah,
Do you
when
drink
do
it
you do it?
before or after
Oh, that's a
you
good.
drink?
That's a good.
So that's a great question.
Yeah.
The concept is that the orange peel and white grape flavor
Yeah.
is supposed to be, like I said, a trademarked term that we can't put on our bottles, but
Summertime
it's supposed to be
spritz,
the
let's
last
say.
drink of the night, essentially.
Oh, got
So
you.
you've been drinking all night, and then you have this, and it will help you as you go to sleep. It'll help you process the alcohol, rehydrate, and feel a lot better when you wake up. Then we have another flavor, morning matcha lemonade,
which
is
I
what
actually
you do.
think sounds really amazing.
Oh, that
I
sounds
love
delish.
it.
Oh,
That sounds delicious.
It is
so
fantastic.
good.
Let me assure you, it's amazing. But so you wake it up when you drink it when you wake up, and it's got a little bit of caffeine in it as well as all the
From
other
the-
active ingredients. And caffeine helps dilate blood vessels in your brain, which can help with a headache.
Wow.
And it has extra B
Yeah.
vitamins as well. And so they actually are slightly different formulas
Right.
designed for, to be ingested at that time,
Mhm.
but nothing that would you could totally drink either at either. Well, you wouldn't want to drink the caffeine late at night unless caffeine doesn't affect you.
Or unless you're having a really interesting night.
Yeah,
right?
unless you
Oh
wanna
my
keep
God. I was about to
going.
say. It could be like you're having a really interesting night. What about as a mixer? Can you use it as a mixer?
That's exactly what I was about to say. The first thing that I thought we tried the samples. Like the laboratory sends you samples, you go in, you take some, you have different ones that you try. But when I first tried the matcha lemonade, I was like, oh my God, tequila would be really good.
Right?
Yeah.
That was where
can't
my
lie.
brain went. I went,
Yeah.
whoa.
Two birds,
See, this is
one
major
stone.
tequila drinker.
Yeah. I mean,
You are
Perfect.
tequila's your poison.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, oh my God, that would be a fabulous mixer
That's
for that.
it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
I
Big
think-
gentleman's cube. Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
think
You got it.
vodka's good in anything, but I think
Well, yeah.
vodka. But I also
Well, it's
think
basically
rum
water.
would-
I mean, let's just say
I-
vodka
Right,
is
right.
basically
potato
water. so-
water.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
I think rum would play very nicely into
always said
the white grape orange peel flavor and stuff. Anyone wants
Or
to use that as a
gin.
mixer.
Or gin.
Or
yeah.
gin,
Or
I mean,
yeah.
gin.
There you go.
Oh my God, yeah.
My God, let's just throw Southern Comfort in there too. Anyway, but I mean, here you go. Here you are. You think, oh, okay, we have this great idea. We're gonna Google it. But then I read also that in your life there were times that you didn't even have 2 quarters to rub together. I mean, you didn't even have coins for laundry. So then you're going to create a drink. I mean, I have to tell you, there's a little part of me that says youth in this, because only youth would be like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just make a drink, and we're gonna market it and sell it. And I mean, how do you balance that financially with creating
Well, we
a
definitely
company?
appreciate that, Keith.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
well,
incredible.
We wanted to focus a lot on pitching it to
Mhm.
investors.
Mhm.
So we
crazy.
put up some
Yeah.
we wanted to
Yeah,
put
I mean, it
together
totally
a
is.
really engaging, visual pitch that,
Mhm.
and again, we didn't know how to do this. So
Right.
we had pitched films before and
Mhm.
Right.
TV pilots and different creative projects, but never, it's a different format
Yeah.
for what you need for a business pitch in terms of, all sort of facts and figures.
Mhm.
So we
Right.
learned that. And then, we actually we went to a film festival in Sarasota, our film, The Den,
Mhm.
that we wrote, produced, and we both acted in, along with Jeff Stoltz, Hollywood hunk.
Hollywood hunk, Jeff Stoltz.
Hello.
Um,
Hello.
Yes, hello. Who was in Wedding Crashers.
I
That was the
know.
By the
first
way,
thing I ever
yes,
saw him
relevant.
in.
Just
Yeah.
saying, very relevant.
Mhm.
Full circle there.
Yes,
Love it.
we premiered our film in Sarasota, and that's where my mother and father live, in Sarasota. So that was easy. We stayed with them, and she's a realtor, and so we threw a premiere party. She threw us a little get together in Sarasota, and invited a lot of her business contacts and a lot of her friends, and we sort of just got to talking, and we shared about our business, which actually is hard. I find that difficult. I don't know if anyone else is like me. It's it feels weird to talk about yourself, or to just go like, well, this is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I want to know about them, and
It
I'm a
sounds
little more
conceited.
introverted.
It does. It can
sounds
come
so
across as
conceited.
conceited.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or like you need something from them. Like you're
Right.
not actually interested in just being around them, that you actually are trying to sell them something, and
Yeah, you're like, give me money.
Too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You're like, oh, you
those-
look good. Give me money. Okay, great.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
I get
that
it. I
party
get it.
turned out to be really beneficial, and we actually got some investors from that wanted to be on the ground floor of a
incredible.
company that believed in the vision.
Because as it turns out, the opposite is actually true. They want to know what's going on with you. You know what I
That's
mean?
That's
incredible,
true. Yeah.
guys. I mean, I have to
Thank you. Thank you very
So
much.
from concept to actual product, how much
Mhm.
time are we talking about? Like
We're talking about 8 months.
that's it.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
Yep.
it's
Wow.
speedy. Once you decide to get into this, it starts moving and it just goes.
Wow, 8
know,
months
'cause
from
I know.
concept to product.
Yeah,
And he did all the marketing. He's done all the he's our graphic designer.
it's true. It's true.
He does the website.
We fill a lot of roles.
He's
Yeah, it's both of
designed all
us.
the packaging. So yeah.
That's freaking incredible. Well, you know,
Thank
we actually had a winner of Shark Tank on the show a bit back.
Really?
Yeah,
Honey
Honey Fund. Yeah, they're
yeah, that's right.
yeah. So
I've
she
heard of
talked
Honey
about
Fund. Yeah.
she talked about the same thing as that here they were doing everything themselves and they randomly go on the show and she doesn't like reality TV, which I found really funny. And so
I
she had to
love
be
it, on the
convinced to be
contrary.
right, had to be convinced to go on
Mhm.
the show, and it forced her to do all the calculations and all
Right.
the financials in the back end.
Yeah.
And then they went from
Exactly.
0 to 100 overnight, very much like what's happening to y'all.
That's exactly what we're
Yes,
talking about. Yeah,
yeah.
it just moves because when you have a really good idea, people, it turns out,
Yeah.
are interested in making money quickly.
Well,
You know
and the
what I
thing
mean?
is, there's not a lot of product out there that I would consider like focused on both skin, outward and inward.
Mhm.
Let me just put it that way.
And drinkable, because I have
drinkable.
not really heard that one aside from
Yeah.
the other two that we mentioned.
Yeah,
I
That's so
haven't really
exciting.
heard of anything, which I mean, I've seen the patch, I've seen, the
Yeah.
chewables, but not a
Mhm.
drinkable item.
no.
Yeah.
Right.
And those metabolize in your body a little differently as well.
Mhm.
And there's
I-
studies that show that they don't
Yeah.
quite, they get sort
Yeah.
of lost in the gut.
Mhm.
I actually have a
Um,
question about that
yeah,
because
yeah.
I actually take the biotin gel. So if some are they able to still do this?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Biotin is not something that you should really be worried about overdosing. You'll pee it out.
Right.
if you have too much, your body will be like, "We got it, girl. That's enough."
Yeah.
That's funny. You're
but
like,
but you
Yeah.
also have the addition of the liquid, which is so essential. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
So
the most
essential.
important part that I think people forget. So I love that part of it.
Have to hydrate.
Yeah.
Yes.
how does this?
It's part.
Go ahead. Sorry, you first.
Oh, I was gonna say that's part of helping a hangover too. Is like one of the there are these tenets of what gives you a hangover, but one of the biggest ones is dehydration. Like you just
Yes.
don't have enough water in your body. So the
Right.
fact that our stuff is packaged inside of a liquid, it's in water. Like you're ingesting water while you're drinking it,
Yeah.
and that's both diluting the alcohol that's in your stomach and helping you rehydrate.
God,
Well, I have to go out and get some of this because I have to tell you,
Right?
2 weeks ago I went and got an IV because I was dehydrated severely.
Yeah.
Is that what
And-
happened?
Yes. And I wound
Oh,
up
God.
getting an IV. I got stuck 9 times.
Oy.
9
no.
times. I still have bruises. So
God.
I am going out
Find
and I'm
it.
getting I am getting your stuff.
No,
Well,
more,
and
no more IVs, Marcy.
Well, and this is
Thank
crazy
you,
because we were doing a TV show and they were like, "Oh, do you guys want to stay for another hour? We're having such a good time with you."
We were only
Yeah,
supposed to be
yeah.
on for 20 minutes
20
originally.
minutes, and then we ended up being on
Oh,
for 2
wow.
hours. And so she was like, "I gotta go. I gotta go."
I leaned
gotta
over.
go."
I'm like, I have to go. I
I'm
gotta
like,
get out
what?
here.
Where are you going? I'm like, oh my God. And so, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that was it. But okay, so again, 0 to
That's
80.
a funny
but,
thing to do.
but your focus
Yeah.
still is acting, or do you find yourselves being pulled in 2 different directions?
Well, I'll tell you what. As far as I'm concerned, we're our entrepreneurial ventures are in order to help finance our creative visions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. I mean,
So,
God, it's so funny too when you're talking about, all the things that go into kind of your first entrepreneurial journey or your first like product business.
Right.
And,
right.
wedding planning seems to be that too.
Mhm.
On your guys' end, it's something that it's like Keith Willard events. Like it's
Right.
like, it's your own. I feel like a lot of wedding planners are entrepreneurs, really is
Oh yeah,
is what
100%.
it is,
yeah,
know.
100%. I mean,
Um,
but we're not selling a product; we're selling ourselves,
Yeah.
much like a hooker.
It-
So
Or
you know,
an
we know what you're
actor, or
talking
an
about.
actor. And I think it's, it's been so interesting coming from the entertainment world, because I actually find this type of venture so much more straightforward, and I wouldn't say more gratifying. They're gratifying in different ways, but it's been so nice to actually not be the product, to have a product. And it takes the focus off of you in a really nice way. And also just there's so many hurdles to jump through as an actor or even as a writer in the entertainment world, which we also do. And those seem to be a lot more shrouded in secrecy, a lot more mysterious, and sometimes confusing and confounding. It's like, not
necessarily meritocratic either.
Definitely not that. And so it does feel nice to just I'm going to build this business. And there is a path for that.
The steps are thus, and if you carry them out, then you wind up with a business.
Whereas acting just tends to be a lot more. There are definitely a lot of things you can do. We make sure we're always like in classes. We're always like working on our
auditioning. We have representation, but there can be a lot of question marks and a lot of rejection.
For sure. Yeah.
Intangible baby.
Exactly. Yeah. That's right.
And there's so many, films we want to make. Really, we'd love to rely less on pitching to other people and having other people, put up money to make something, because that's just there's more cooks in the kitchen, and that's all. It's actually very nice to be in that position, but it's better when you can just bring forth your baby into the world, and you need money to do that. So this really is going to help us, I think, be able to take on more creative projects in the long run, even though it's taking up more of my daily focus right now.
That's incredible. I mean, I really am just in awe of you two doing this and wedding planning at the same time, guys.
Wow.
I mean, that's a full-time job in itself, and here you are.
You would know. Exactly.
You guys, we don't have a wedding planner.
You all are idiots. Anyway.
I know.
We are. We're learning that.
I literally wanted to say that because I would do it differently. I would do it differently if I had to do it.
I went from calling y'all geniuses to idiots.
I know. How dumb.
Exactly.
We obviously have a lot of gumption, but that was a bad decision.
Yeah.
Well, but I tell people all the time, you don't know what you don't know. And so I think, and that's why I find you two super fascinating, because you jumped into this beverage business, and then of course, we're not even talking about the competition. Some of the competition, I'm sure, is hardcore when it comes to 100%. Putting your product into stores and on shelves and stuff. I mean, what is that like, having to fight against things like Coca-Cola and, these big companies?
Right. I think that the key is just not to compete with them at all.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that our product doesn't really have to. It is very specific.
Right.
And because of that, we would love to be on, shelves in stores, but we see a sort of different placement for it. We want to be in hotels, so that's something that we're working on. We want to be in mini bars.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
We think we would do really well in gift shops. So we actually have some things lined up with boutiques and independent businesses that know that we have introduced ourselves to, that we have gotten to know on a personal level. So it's not like hi, Whole Foods. Like there's, there's 7,000 functional beverages that they're choosing from to put on their shelves. It's a person-to-person connection. And I think that's probably something we've learned from being actors and writers. Just learning that it really is about getting to know individuals and then seeing how you can help each other. So we have like some upscale gift shops and things like that, boutiques that are going to stock our product,
but also influential wedding podcasts.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, you are. I love it. I was a listener of this podcast before we ever got in touch with you, and that's why I wanted to get in touch with you.
But that's another thing
so
is we
sweet.
Think
it's great.
Well, we think it'd be really great for, as a wedding gift, or like you were saying, bachelorette parties.
My brain is already going.
Party favor.
Me.
Oh, totally for for the
I'm
bag, the welcome
thinking
bags.
gift bags. I'm thinking,
Yes,
welcome
exactly,
bags.
exactly.
Like I mean, all of these
Yeah.
things are coming
Yeah.
into play in my brain when it comes to this kind of thing.
That's
and
fantastic.
people love when it's something that is not accessible to everybody. In other words, you can't
Yeah.
just go to the
Right.
store and grab it off the shelf,
Exactly.
right? They're like,
Exactly.
oh,
Although
look at
getting
this
into
cool.
Vegas might be really cool.
I know.
Yeah,
I
right?
know.
That's
Oh,
exactly what we're
Vegas is on the
thinking.
list.
My
for
my
sure.
nephew
yeah.
just came back from a bachelorette party.
Oh, yeah?
Last week, and and he was telling us the tale of woes of the guys that wound up in the hospital.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no.
no.
Well, we definitely don't condone
None of
we
that.
have to say.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh,
So okay,
man.
so here you are with this
Talk about
business, and it's starting to get successful, obviously, and so
Mhm,
it's starting to pull. But then you're also got this movie, right?
Yeah,
Called The
that's right.
Den.
The Den.
That's
Mhm.
right.
So
Exactly. Yes.
tell us a little bit about The Den, because I understand it's based on a true story.
Well, yes, it's based on a yes, it is. The
Right?
mood is darkening slightly.
I know,
yes,
because
because it's a
movie.
psychological thriller. It's
Yeah.
based on some really really like gnarly things that went down at a small storefront theater in Chicago that Kelsey Ann actually used to
wasn't
work in.
Florida, thank God. Okay,
No.
I was
Yeah, it
like,
wasn't Florida. Although the thing is, it's so weird because it's like a story that if you talk to an actor or somebody who's worked in the theater,
right?
No matter who you talk to, they'll go like, "I know somebody that this happened to."
Yeah,
know?
All over the country,
So-
you know.
What it is, it's a psychological thriller, and we fictionalized all the details, so it's not
Well,
like
of
a
course.
yeah. But it's a young actress who shows a lot of promise, gets into this sort of dark, secret, manipulative relationship with the owner and director of the theater, who's like the star of all the shows. And
Man, you're talking about my ex. I love it.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
Dark and manipulative. Exactly.
Yeah, maybe my first ex. Let's put it that way. It's been a few
Fair
years,
enough.
but yeah, okay,
Fair
got you,
enough.
got
Those
you.
types of people actually can be so intoxicating, though.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, and
Oh,
that's
And
the
I- 100%.
that's how they operate. That's
So-
Well,
how
they
do
always
it.
say crazy people are the best in bed, so I'm just.
Well, there you go.
I've
There
heard
you
that.
go.
I've heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's true.
so-
So,
But
they
okay,
also
so
say never
dark
to
and
sleep with crazy.
yeah, right. Dark and
but-
manipulative. Yes, love it.
Very
Okay,
manipulative. Anyway, so basically what was going on was there was this theater in Chicago where this story had been playing itself out over and over again
For
like
25 years.
Yeah.
over and
Wow.
over, just with
Over
different
basically-
and
people.
over.
He would
Yes.
select a promising young actress, cast them in shows like opposite one another. So
Yeah.
and this is, I don't know if you know anything about the Chicago theater scene, but it's all about like being like really in your face and like gritty plays and like themes of like sex and violence, which is it's cool. It's really
I
interesting
love it,
theater.
but still, yeah.
edgy,
But,
and
yeah.
it's all very much like putting yourself into it.
Yeah.
And it's very like craft focused in terms
Yeah.
of like, you know, no boundaries.
Yeah.
Giving it your like.
Which,
Yeah.
if you're picking
Which-
up on our language,
Yeah.
means
I
that
love it.
sometimes
Yes, yeah.
lines
love
can
it.
be crossed.
Oh, of
And
course,
so what-
100%.
This
This
That's cool.
particular dude would do was he was so committed to the
The
idea
truth.
of the truth,
Yeah.
that he would like
Mm.
encourage the relationship off stage to be kind of like the one on stage. And
Oh,
so they
creepy.
would start these like
Oh.
weird sexual relationships with
That's
one
creepy.
another. And yeah, he
Yeah.
was like a spider, and like he was collecting these little
And it's,
actor
you know,
flies.
That's crazy.
He
it's so
picked Kelsey
funny
Ann out
because
of his
once
acting
you-
class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you start to
Seriously.
study these things, or even if you just listen to a lot of true crime, I feel like
Mhm.
you start to pick up on this pattern. This
Oh,
is a
yeah.
pattern that,
Mhm.
you know, repeats itself. It's, you know, getting you isolated. So
Right.
in this case, that would mean telling the other people in the play like, oh, like she doesn't like you guys, like she you know, she thinks she's so much better than you, like, you know, sowing seeds of
Yeah.
discord among your peers,
Yeah.
so that
But you know
you're-
that-
he is
and it's that is this is there's a talent to this.
I
and
know,
that's
what's
I know.
exactly.
Yes, yes.
And that's the thing is this
And
guy
he
was a
was
really
so good at
intoxicating
it.
presence and a very like
He's a
I don't
good
want to say he
actor,
was a great
too.
actor because
Well,
That's
was he
what I'm
even
saying.
acting?
I
But,
mean,
like,
not everybody
know.
can do this. I mean, it takes
Exactly.
I know.
it takes somebody that
That's right.
really understands people and how their
Yes.
brain
Situation.
works.
It's true.
Creepy.
And that's sort of the point was, so Kelsey Ann worked at this theater. He plucked her out of his class and was like, work for me, come work in my theater. We'll figure out a play for you to be in.
And, especially among actors and especially actresses and especially young actresses, there is this feeling that there's not enough to go around. There's this scarcity mindset. There is this like, all you want is for someone to pick you out of a group and say you're the special one. I mean, that's what everyone wants in general, right?
Yeah, but that's the industry. Yeah, 100%.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
But so he would do that. He would single you out as this special thing that he could see had, this incredible potential. And so you were playing into his hand already because of the way that it made you feel so special and so different from the other actresses, which is toxic in and of itself. But you're there for it because you're hungry for it, or hungry literally.
Yeah.
So this was a play and then it became a movie?
Or no, you did a movie based on real life.
The play,
based on some true events.
Based on true events. So it wasn't a play
that were happening at a theater.
This is actually happening to people, and so they created.
But
a movie
it's very meta. It keeps their layers of like what's, because the whole idea is like what's real and what's not. Like that you're supposed to. So you get a play inside of a movie, but it's really happening. Like what's going. So
this is
a lot of layers.
Fascinating.
Oh, this sounds
really interesting
Thank
stuff.
you.
Where can you find that? I mean,
so you can find it
on TV.
Yes, you can. You can't see it on TV yet. We're still doing festival circuit. We actually have a festival next week, maybe a week and a half in Albuquerque. And then we actually just got accepted into the Tallgrass Festival, which is a very exciting one. That's a really like booming, like up and coming independent festival.
It's a really great festival in a
Very
not so great town. It's in Wichita, Kansas.
How dare you?
Oh, wow.
How dare you?
Wow. Let's just put that on Wichita.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, but here you are. Okay, again, actors with with not even 2 quarters to rub together, putting together a movie and a product. I'm just crazy fascinated with this whole story. And then now you're going to go to all of these film festivals, right?
That's right.
I mean, are you going to try to do both? Are you going to try to promote the movie and the beverage at the same time, or are those 2 separate worlds?
I think it's all one world. It's all us. You know what I mean? And so like we'll be there. We're always talking to people about our ideas, and we're always, like you said before, we're always in motion. We're always like trying to put these worlds together.
Because I think that would be really fascinating to be able to have your premiere or have a film festival and then also have samples of the product that people go,
exactly. Yes, exactly. That's
I love
exactly
that. I love that idea. I mean, you guys are going to be rich.
Hey, knock on wood.
Thank you.
I mean, wow. You guys are going to be hugely successful one day because it's incredible.
You're setting yourself up now, which is awesome.
Really are.
That's what we want. Yeah.
Oh,
and
my God.
I mean, man, you were talking about not having 2 quarters to rub together. There were some dire times in our apartment in Brooklyn, man.
I mean, where we had to like wash things in the bathtub and put it to dry on our roof.
I read that because you had access to the roof.
Yeah, because we had to crawl out our window to get access, but still.
In the wintertime too?
Oh God, no!
Thank God.
Thankfully, it was in the summertime.
Yeah, and this was in New York.
We had the sunshine and we could like dry our clothes out, but it was like we were just looking at each other, going like, "Can you believe we're doing this right now?"
Or like you're out, like you're going from audition to audition, or like a lot of times your day jobs are in there too. So like you're babysitting until this time, and you have to rush out to go to an audition, but then you haven't
try and buy
all
a
day,
snack and it declines your card.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. It's like that feeling of like knowing you don't have any money and then digging through your wallet to try to find like a
Starbucks gift card.
Starbucks gift card.
Yeah. Anything, right?
From Christmas or something.
That's it.
And being yes, I can eat with a Starbucks gift card, or like I can eat at this house where I'm nannying or whatever, And I don't want to be there anymore. Okay. Yeah. I'm a grown woman that I don't want to live like that anymore. And that was due to, in large part, putting my fate in other people's hands. And that unfortunately is still, if you are an actor, even if you're at the top, you are still from gig to gig, there is no security. And you are always at the behest and approval of others. Other people have to say, yes, you can do this job in order for you to do it, instead of you saying, I'm going to give myself a job. I'm going to create the job for myself to guarantee some sort of livelihood, you know? And
that's why I really am. I keep going back to your, origination, or origin story, because there are a lot of people out there that are looking to start their business or have just started their business, especially in South Florida, because a lot of people are, are involved in the event industry and want to become a wedding planner or an invitation specialist and stuff. And many of them work for a hotel or another event organization, and they want to take that first step, but they're scared, right? There's that moment of like, do I believe in myself? And you guys are proof positive that if you believe in yourself, that everything is possible. And there's gonna be hard times, but there's gonna be brighter times on the other side of it.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. True. I also
thank you for saying that.
Yeah, because I think it's I think that you're inspirational. Honestly, you take ideas and you make them happen regardless of what else is going on in your world, and that is a rare.
You're not counting on others.
Yeah, it's just
and we crowdfunded the den, so I think. Yeah, and I think even if you
we raised $14,000 just from our community.
Yeah.
No.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's about we tend to think in straight lines. Do you know what I mean? Meaning like, instead of going like someday, like I'll have this thing and like people will recognize it. It's more just like, okay, I have this goal. How exactly do I do this? Like, what are the physical steps that I must take?
And I would say to those people too, like, the wedding industry actually has helped us be able to do all these projects because, we catered weddings,
true,
and
true.
We still do from time to time. And
full circle, you see,
and it's that sort of like,
oh yeah,
it's really hard to come home from a 9-to-5, and people have different situations, and if you have a kid, maybe this is where it gets trickier, but it's hard to come home from a 9-to-5 and have the energy to do your second business. It's just I found it hard whenever I would try to, and I actually the last 9-to-5 that I tried to commit to was selling wedding gowns, actually.
Okay.
It didn't end well.
No, I was about to say it's not say yes to the dress, honey.
It's not fun.
Say yes to the dress.
No,
but brides are vicious.
Oh man.
And mother-in-laws and mothers are even
mother-in-laws are worse, way worse than brides. That's what I would say.
Yeah, we've been there. We've seen it.
Oh,
Go ahead. Yeah. So what's the dream? I mean, you guys already have like a couple of big things going on in your life, but is there a bigger dream? Is there like you want to go multinational and you want to have a beverage company that produces films? Is that right? I mean, is there an ultimate dream for y'all? Is there an ultimate goal?
Well, we have so many, but she and I, Kelsey Ann and I, have written like probably about 1,000 pages together of scripts of like movies and television pilots that we want to produce and hopefully be able to act in.
And we're really
we also have big visions for Party Girl too, because we're starting with these 2 flavors, or SKUs is what they're called. But then as we expand, we've had these ideas. Kelsey Ann has had this brilliant idea of like, okay, so there are cities associated with like bachelorette parties, right?
Right.
So what about like Miami, and we could make like a mojito flavor, or like what about Nashville, and we could make like a Jack and Coke flavor or something like that, And we Las
like
Vegas, Los Angeles, all of these ideas we want to spread out and just grow this thing.
Scottsdale's huge, Austin's huge, and
Yeah.
what if we
Austin.
what if we could
Just
have?
saying,
I know.
6th Street, baby. 6th Street. I love
6th
Austin.
Street,
See, I've never
Yeah.
been to Austin. I would love to go.
Oh, it's a totally different
We were
world
supposed to
down
go
there.
to South by Southwest
2020,
March of
Do you guys
2020.
remember that?
Oh yeah, please. March
Yeah.
13th, drop dead date
Yep.
here. Yes,
Yep.
we know
Yep.
March 13th. Yes,
Yep.
yeah. Believe me, we
Yes,
know it.
Oh, boy.
But but
Honestly-
Austin, 4th, 5th, and 6th Street. That's where it's happening. I mean, I'm from
Yeah.
Texas, so yeah.
Oh, you
Austin,
are? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Austin is where we would go and hang out. And
Nice.
the big thing down there is tubing. You go tubing down the river.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that's
I've
cool.
seen this.
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
so much
saying.
fun.
Yeah.
That would be a
I-
cool beverage, is to have something for Sunday tubing. I mean,
Exactly.
What feels
exactly.
Austin
That's right.
to you as far as flavor goes?
That's a good question.
Where does your
lemon,
mind go?
lime, orange. Lemon,
Lemon,
I
lime,
was going to
orange.
say
Oranges.
lime.
Lime.
I have a lime
Yeah.
feeling.
It's
yeah.
a citrus.
orange.
It's a
I like
citrus
that.
county. It's Texas.
Yeah.
A lot of citrus. A lot of citrus grows. But okay,
I love
so
that.
so the big dream is to just have all of these
Yeah.
things going on at the same time. But there's only 2 of you. I mean, how are you going
I
to
know.
be able to
Well-
handle all of these?
Yeah.
Hire people. Hopefully,
Yeah.
that's part of like scaling the business is, and that's
We're
again
putting a lot of work in on the
entrepreneurship.
front end. Yeah.
Yeah, putting a lot of
Yeah.
work in on the front
Mhm.
end, but then eventually, I would love to get to a place where my business isn't running me. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
where we
Yeah.
can delegate things we just plain old don't like to do. Basically,
Yeah. Exactly.
we can go. Well, I'm really good at doing this, and this it takes me forever. I'm not good at it.
Mhm.
Right.
It probably isn't helping the business that I'm doing it. And I would love to hire someone and then have the freedom, the wiggle room financially and otherwise to be able to hire people and
Yeah.
delegate. And yeah, I would love to do those city flavors. That would
Yeah.
be,
I
yeah,
think that would be
Mojito
incredible.
Cafecito for Miami,
thanks.
for South Florida would be
Oh,
so fun for me.
yes.
Well, and
Um,
I actually love the design of the bottle because it's super
thank
simple.
you.
It's super clean.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
straightforward.
Yeah.
And I
we
love
wanted
that.
it to feel elegant. We chose a glass bottle just because it's like we want you to feel nice and like kind of fancy while you're drinking.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
yeah.
We want
I
to
mean,
like
it looks like a
elevate the
kombucha.
experience of like celebration recovery,
Yeah.
because most of them,
Exactly. You don't
Yeah,
want,
mo-
you don't want
most-
an aluminum can that feels like the beer can that you drank
No.
it before.
Definitely
Yeah,
not.
I did.
Or like a little thin plastic thing.
a lot of them are like,
Not
yeah,
to
these
denigrate
little
that, but it's
tiny.
just not us.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, and so now you have the 2 flavors. They're
Mhm.
I'm assuming they're fairly successful at this point.
Well, so here's the thing: we're in production right now. We went through formula. We told you 8 months, right?
Right.
So concept, design, formulation. We are right now in manufacturing, and it's actually happening in Florida. Believe it or not.
In Clearwater.
Really?
Oh, very
Yeah.
Yes,
cool.
exactly. Yeah.
That's
no
our
idea that's even a
facility.
thing. Well, then you
Yeah.
could
Believe it or
easily
not.
ship some down here. I'm just saying.
That's
I
right,
know,
that's right.
I know.
We could walk it
Take
over
them to you
probably.
personally, really.
Yeah.
But so people can order it through the website.
So
People can
it's
put pre-orders in, and
it's
they're actually
pre-order
rolling
right
in.
now.
Pre-order.
Um,
Oh,
we-
wow.
yes.
Yes.
So we're on a soft launch,
Yeah.
and we are getting it together as quickly as possible. Our
Yeah.
goal and what Nutrition Labs, who we're working with in Clearwater,
Yeah.
says it's totally reachable, that by the end of the month we'll be in full swing production orders and we'll be able to fulfill those orders. Right now it's just pre-order, but
Yeah,
we
but
are
aren't you excited?
doing a lot of advertising
Yeah, we're
already.
so excited.
So we do
Yeah.
have a lot of pre-orders already, and
Yeah.
it's very helpful to get your name on that list early and get it
I
as soon
just
as
think
it's
this-
hot off the press.
I just think that's just going to be incredible, and
I
I
do
think that
too.
yeah, and you
I
guys
know
are
Thank you,
a whole market.
guys.
Yes.
you're definitely
Thank you
hitting
so
a
much.
market that is just not. I mean, there's just not a lot out there at the moment, so that's
Yeah.
amazing because there
And
really
we
isn't.
yeah,
really
and we
appreciate
wanted to
that.
be, sugar free, and we wanted to be,
Well, that
like
was the
clean
other
and-
thing. You
I
said-
was just
Yeah.
going to ask you that.
oh my
Mhm.
god, it's kosher.
So
Yeah.
do we know the nutritional makeup?
Yes.
We do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
I believe one SKU is 50 calories and one SKU is 45
actually-
calories.
40
Oh my
and
God.
45.
40 and
That's
45. So
amazing.
Yeah.
you're
That's
not gonna
amazing.
feel glunky. You're not gonna feel gloopy. It's not too much. And we did a test. This isn't nutrition. This is volume.
Right.
We did a test. Kelsey Ann was hungover one day, and I had a question. I was like, okay, we had all these different bottle sizes, and I was like, okay, how much of this? We just filled them up with water. I was like, how much can you drink? And so we did
Right.
2 ounces, and she was like, this is not enough. And we
Right.
did 4 ounces, and she was like, still not enough. And then we jumped up to 8 ounces, and she was like, oh my God, this is too much. I think I'm
Well,
gonna.
yeah, it was like you had to
So like
chug it like that. Then it became like this
6 ounces.
chore of like, can I actually even get this down
Yeah.
because I'm tired?
Mhm.
Think about especially the night of formula, wanting it has to be the exact right size, the right volume, because otherwise you're going to get distracted halfway through and fall asleep, or you're just trying to go to bed. And it's like, it took me a while to like actually get that down.
Yeah.
Whereas the 6 ounce, which is where
Just
we're at now, is this
there.
perfect. Like I call it like an Alice in Wonderland size, because it's so
Yeah.
like it's gulpable. Like
It's a potion.
it looks like, like the drink me in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just the
that's
perfect
true.
size where you're feeling like refreshed and
Wow.
you're feeling like you've had
Yeah.
enough water, but you're not like gonna have to get up in the middle of the night and like go to the bathroom a lot, and you don't
Well,
get distracted halfway through.
Honey, wait till
So-
you're over 50. That happens every night. You can't help it. Yeah, sorry. That just
There's
happens.
no solving that problem.
There's no solving that problem. But I love the
But
fact
so-
that it's low calorie, non-GMO,
Yeah.
gluten-free,
thank
sugar-free, and
Yeah.
kosher.
Yeah.
What?
I love
mean,
that. Oh my
We
gosh.
lived in Brooklyn for 8 years. It's got to be kosher.
Of course. Yeah.
You know how, I
Um,
mean, that's just, I mean, to be kosher, especially in the Jewish market, is a big deal.
Yeah,
Big
definitely.
Big
And-
deal.
Absolutely.
And a lot of those weddings are particularly big. I mean, these
Mhm.
families are very close too.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
they tend to have bigger weddings, and we want to be a part of that for sure.
Absolutely.
Shoot.
So
Because
you were
of
asking
that.
about nutrition. We sweeten with agave nectar and
A tiny bit,
monk
and
fruit extract.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And this stuff called erythritol, which is
Yes.
it's natural, but it
Right.
we found, again, going back to the flavor thing, we were trying all these different things, and we needed this roundness, we needed this, like, we wanted it to be elegant, and we wanted it to taste good as well as work.
Yeah.
So we had to work with these flavors,
And we were trying it with stevia, and we were like, this is not
yeah,
it.
No.
Stevia's not working.
It's not
No.
working.
No,
Like
no,
it
no, no, no.
tastes.
And it can't be
fake.
aspartame. Like, we're not going to go down that road.
Yeah, we're not going
Right.
to give
Yeah.
people carcinogenic cancers.
Hey,
Aspartame.
allegedly, I don't know.
Allegedly, don't sue me.
But anyhow,
Yeah, and a lot of
that's funny.
Yeah.
these other ones that will be like, quote unquote, like all natural or whatever, they'll have stevia, and I can just taste it. Like I
you
just
just know.
Yeah.
You just know.
yeah, it just
So it's
tastes-
also low in carb, which it sounds
Low in
like low in
carbs,
carb,
yes, exactly.
and
Yes.
not too many sugars, which is fantastic.
No,
I mean,
definitely not.
it sounds like your product just sounds like a home run. I mean, like this
Well, thank you.
in
It
so
really
many
does.
facets. Not just
It's incredible.
events, but it's also great for the health area. I mean, the health industry
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
also
be-
like
sorry.
recovery from. I'm so sorry, Keith.
No.
Speak.
I actually am.
Your
I'm
podcast.
going to be really interested to see what your journey is like in 6 months
Us
after
too.
this product is released, widely,
Mhm.
and some of the
Mhm.
Yeah.
some of the things that you haven't yet encountered with production
Mhm.
and distribution and those kind of
Mhm.
things that are
Yes.
going to be
It'll
coming
be a
up.
wild ride.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scaling
That's gonna be
up, that's going to be really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a funny thing that just happened to us in terms of you're saying like hoops or roadblocks because we've never done this and we're not trained to do this. We didn't go to school
Yeah.
for this. We were just
got a lot of
contacted by some like influencers who also have a podcast.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
they wanted to use our product. They wanted to be sent samples, and
Yeah.
they were
Right.
going to shout it out on their socials, and they have like crazy amount of followers. And
But
I listened to an episode of the podcast,
Yeah.
and I was like, these girls,
Not your thing.
one of these girls is under 21. She said so in the pod, and I was like, oh, that's such an
So-
interesting
so then we
thing.
go,
We have to like look up the
Can we
legality
do
of that.
that?
I called a
Right.
friend who's a lawyer, and
is this
we're-
responsible?
yeah, you're like, okay,
Oh.
wait. So because
Yeah.
influencer marketing is so big,
Right.
it's not as if they are selling it at a store. They're no one's employee. It's it's
No.
an independent contractor at its most formal.
Jeez.
But so it's this weird world of what is this influencer marketing?
Well-
What is the legality of that for someone under 21 to be selling basically what is like an accessory to alcohol,
Yeah.
even though it doesn't have
Right.
alcohol, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just
God, that's got to
it's
be
a
the
weird
craziest thing.
It's so
mean-
Yeah.
funny, right?
Well, and the thing is that you're saying influencers, like how the hell do you even figure out who the hell is an actual influencer in
And
this
they don't
world.
even
Right,
use the
right.
product, like they don't use a lot of their products. They just get
I
out there and
know.
say
Yeah.
the name.
Put it
So
out there in
I
front of
know.
people.
yeah,
It's like,
Yeah.
and so like, are they really vouching for somebody?
oh
Yeah.
my
I know,
God.
and it's like some of them are like. So what I've learned is that some, if you're an influencer and that's your main thing, you have to take some paid stuff, obviously, to make money, but you
Right.
also have to take some unpaid because then you sort of lose your street cred. Then
Right.
no one believes anything you say because everything
Yes.
is you've been paid to say that it's really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
So they have to maintain that balance, and we're hoping to get in some of those. This was just a product. We just send them product. We're not
Yep.
gonna, pay to have them talk about it. But if they like it, then they will. And we believe in our product enough to try to send out samples.
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
Kelsey Ann's an influencer.
Yes, I was about to
I-
say, come on, right?
In one area, I get sent bikinis. I have managed to. I'm a Florida girl, and
Yeah.
I love the sun, and I go to the beach wherever I can, even in New York, even in Chicago. We go to Lake Michigan, and so
You're
yeah,
something of a swimwear connoisseur.
I'm a swimwear
my
connoisseur.
God,
I would
that's the
say.
craziest
That's
thing.
too
I
funny.
randomly, for some reason got into this where I get clothing from people, and
Oh.
That's
don't-
cool.
No, it's not because
not?
it's
'Cause
it's
it's not
meant
cute.
for like a 20-year-old
Oh.
anorexic male, and I'm like.
Oh,
I look
no.
like a
A TikTok
sausage in it.
boy.
I said, that's not happening, guys.
you're in great shape.
I refuse to believe it.
And I'm telling them, I'm going to put your shit in Goodwill. I promise you.
I promise you. Don't you send me that again.
Do not
Is
send
it like
me anything.
merch?
Yeah,
What
it's merch. It's
yeah,
like
merch.
it's
Just
like
what I
all
thought.
these
Good.
random companies, these fashion
Oh,
companies,
funny.
and I don't know what happened. I somehow got on
You
somebody's
got on some
list,
sort of
and
my
now
goodness,
there you go.
that's
and
so
now
good.
crap just shows up. And I'm like,
Wow.
what is this? And it always has somebody's big name splashed across the
Oh,
front.
I know.
And they're like, and then they say, "Oh, send us pictures." I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. Oh my God, guys, you were a pleasure. Oh my God, thank you so much. I mean, you guys are
Of
God
course.
crazy. You
Dude,
two are
thank you.
crazy. I'm just gonna put that out there. You are crazy because it's
Thank you.
incredible with what you guys are doing. It really is. I mean,
It's very
you are-
impressive.
appreciate it.
Very
It's-
impressive.
Thank you,
And,
both
you
of
know,
you. Thank you very much.
And we're talking from a third person point of view, looking in and going,
Right.
"How the hell did you do this?" It really is incredible, and I cannot wait for us to talk to you again after you're like hugely successful and nobody can talk to you because you're like no interviews, and we're like, oh, behind the veil though.
Anytime, Marcy and Keith,
Or-
you know it. Anytime.
I mean, I have a question too for
Sure.
you guys. Like,
Yeah.
do you only do weddings or you do events?
I do
Events,
events,
right?
Yeah, both of
Okay,
us do
so
events.
maybe we have a
Yeah.
premiere party, or maybe we have a launch party where
Oh
we
yeah,
can hire
100%.
you guys to
You
do.
know, we have a lot of good contacts. Like, I think we should get you in contact with like Party Slate and some of
Yes.
these other
Oh, for sure.
higher end like
Mhm.
wedding focused companies. Like Party Slate is like the events that they throw are just next level.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
Marcy,
and I'm
you-
in
Love
the
to see that.
invitation arena, so
Yeah.
I used to be on the side of event planning, and now I'm doing invitations. But
Yeah,
I've been
so-
doing it for
Yeah,
15 years.
Yeah.
it's a whole
Yeah,
different
listen,
world. I
totally
do
different.
I can't do what Marcy does. I just cannot. I don't.
And I
have
can't
no
do what
idea.
Keith does. Believe me, not anymore.
Yeah, different skill sets.
A lot of
That's
different
kind
skill
of
sets.
how we work so well together too. It's like
That's true.
technology.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I can't. I'm a millennial and I don't
Right.
know how to do anything. It's all moving so fast. I can't keep up. It stresses me out so hard. I feel like, I'm a capable person, and then I get in front of a computer where I need to do a thing,
Yeah.
and my IQ just sinks to the ground. Like I can't figure anything else. But he's
That-
really
that-
good with that.
That's right.
so.
man.
That's me hitting the alarm in the morning. My IQ just drops. It's like I'm
I
super
can't-
smart in my dreams,
What
and
is
then I
this?
wake up and I'm
You're
like,
like
oh
flying
God.
and saving
Yeah,
the
it's like-
That's a funny thing to say. I'm super smart in my dreams.
exactly.
Me too,
So-
Keith.
Right,
Me too.
exactly. So, how do people get a hold of you? How do they find you?
Well-
give me all your stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you can find us on the internet. You can find Party Girl at partygirlpotions.com. You can find our movie, The Den, at thedenmovie.com. And you can find us on Instagram at partygirlpotion.
Singular.
You can
Singular.
singular, correct?
Yep.
And you can find us, you can find our movie on Instagram at theden.movie. And we also have a podcast
Yeah.
called Florida Woman Pod.
I'm from Florida. We don't live in Florida right now, but I'm definitely a Florida woman for all of the baggage that carries with it.
And I'm a Midwestern outsider, and
yeah,
we get into like weird tropical Floridian crimes and stuff. It's really fun.
No, I love it
that's
because, everybody knows Florida
shenanigans.
man. Everybody knows Florida
Exactly.
man. Everybody knows
What
Florida
about
man,
Florida
so-
Woman?
Florida woman.
It's 2022, guys.
I'm sure there's some seriously creepy stuff out there. So you guys
Oh,
seem to
boy,
yeah.
yeah. Tune in.
you seem to be a little drawn to the creepy side, guys. I'm just starting to make
Oh,
connections
no,
here.
No.
We will have
Like,
to listen to
okay,
that one.
psychological
Yeah,
thrillers, creepy woman.
This
It's
is
true.
this is a quote from Gillian Flynn of Gone Girl fame, etc.
yeah.
She was saying that she's found that the writers of the creepy things like her tend to be the most well-adjusted, normal,
Yeah.
and the writers of the really happy stuff tend to have this unmitigated dark side. And she's like, okay, what is wrong with the children's
That's
book
funny.
authors? Like, what is wrong with those guys?
I'm
Like, the
gonna have to
horror
agree
authors
with
are
that.
way more normal.
That's a really interesting
Yeah.
take. I like that.
That's my take.
I'm gonna agree with that. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We,
Okay,
on Friday
Martian
and
keeps signing
Saturday
off.
nights, we will watch a thriller anytime.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
it. That's
Anytime.
it.
Oh, I love it. I eat it up with a spoon.
Yep.
Oh my
But yeah,
God.
so you can find our podcast. It's called The Florida Woman Podcast. We're on Instagram at floridawoman.pod, but we're also on all the platforms. You can just Florida Woman, singular.
Florida woman.
I think that,
.com,
covers
pod,
all our
pod.
bases. You can follow us
God.
personally on the Instas if you'd like. It's my
Yeah.
name as of now at Kelsey Ann Wacker.
We'll see what she does.
Well, TBD. TBD.
I
At
think you should
Nathan E.
keep it.
Simpson.
I think you should keep
Yeah.
it. I actually
I
think you should keep it.
too.
I
I
know
mean-
he thinks I should keep it, and that makes
I
me
mean-
want to lose it.
I know.
Oh,
so, That's what I'm
nice.
saying.
First
She's a
argument of
loose
husband
cannon.
and wife right there. Boom.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
great.
God, guys, Kelsey Ann and Nate, thank you so much for being on Behind the Veil. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
You were such a huge pleasure. So thank you again.
Likewise.
Obviously, thank you, Marcy Gutenberg, with An Affair to Remember by Marcy. I'm your host, Keith Willard. We will see you next Tuesday at 2:00. But for now, everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for having us.